Hey friends, welcome back to Interesting Chinese Culture. Halloween is celebrated every year on October 31st, also known as Halloween night. People dress up in strange costumes, carve jack-o'-lanterns, and children go from door to door shouting "trick or treat" to ask for candy. This festival comes from an ancient Celtic harvest celebration in Europe. At that time, people dressed up as ghosts and monsters to scare away wandering spirits. So, do you know when China's Ghost Festival is? And do you know what customs it has and how it developed over history? Today, let's talk about Qiyuebian, China's Ghost Festival, the Zhongyuan Festival. The Zhongyuan Festival is one of China's major traditional festivals. It falls on the 14th or 15th day of the 7th month of the lunar calendar. The name Zhongyuan originally came from Taoism. In Buddhism, it is called the Ulambana Festival. Among ordinary people, it is commonly known as the Ghost Festival. And it is also called the Festival of the Dead or Qiyuebian, meaning the middle of the 7th lunar month. The Zhongyuan Festival carries two important meanings: worshipping ancestors and giving thanks. Filial piety is at the heart of the festival. It also has a very special place among traditional Chinese folk festivals because it is an important day for Chinese people to show respect, longing, and remembrance for their late parents and relatives. As one of China's four major traditional ancestor worship festivals, the Zhongyuan Festival also has historical roots in Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. The name comes from Taoism, while its customs began with the ancient Confucian tradition of autumn offerings. By the Song Dynasty, it had developed into a festival with three meanings on the same day. Every year, on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, Taoism worshipped the earth official and prayed for judgment over good and evil in the human world. Ordinary people worshipped their ancestors and wandering spirits, and Buddhism, influenced by Confucian ideas, held Ulambana ceremonies to save and release the souls of past ancestors. Taoism is China's native religion, and because it was also influenced by the clan system and placed great importance on filial piety, the ancestor worship customs of the Zhongyuan Festival were able to take deep root among the people. Worshipping ancestors on the 14th or 15th day of the 7th lunar month is a traditional cultural festival widely observed in countries within the Chinese cultural sphere, as well as among overseas Chinese communities. Along with Chinese New Year's Eve, the Qingming Festival, and the Double Ninth Festival, it is one of the major traditional ancestor worship days of the Chinese nation. In fact, the Zhongyuan Festival has different names on these 2 days. The 14th day of the 7th lunar month is called the Zhengnen Festival, and the 15th day is called the Zhengxi Festival. The Zhengyuan Festival is also commonly known as the Ghost Festival. Compared with other festivals, this one carries a stronger sense of fear and mystery. On the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, every family worships its ancestors and follows the proper rituals when making offerings. The Ghost Festival is also called Qiyuebian. Together with the Qingming Festival and the Hanyi Festival, it is known as one of China's three major ghost festivals. Among them, Qiyuebian is the largest festival for worshipping the dead and also the biggest ghost festival. The Zhongyuan Festival is centered on worshipping spirits. According to legend, every year during Qiyuebian, the gates of the underworld open wide and all the ghosts are released from the world of the dead. Hundreds of spirits wander through the human world at night, and during this time, people commonly hold rituals to worship and comfort these spirits. On this festival day, the focus is on worshipping spirits. Every family worships its ancestors. Some families also hold a family banquet and make offerings according to proper ritual rules. Families who have recently lost a loved one are usually expected to visit the new grave and make offerings to wandering and lonely spirits. The term Zhongyuan comes from the Taoist idea of the three yuan and the three officials. The three officials refer to heaven, earth, and water, and Zhongyuan belongs to the earth official. Taoism believes that the heaven official grants blessings, the earth official pardons sins, and the water official removes disasters. These are connected with the 15th day of the 1st lunar month, the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, and the 15th day of the 10th lunar month, forming the sequence of the three yuan festivals. During the northern and southern dynasties, Qizongzi, Zhangli recorded the dates for inspection, purification rituals, and prayers for blessings. It explained that the 15th day of the 1st lunar month was Shangyuan, the 15th day of the 7th lunar month was Zhengyuan, and the 15th day of the 10th lunar month was Shayuan. These were the days when the three officials of heaven, earth, and water examined the world, and people could hold purification rituals and pray for blessings. By the Tang Dynasty, the Zhongyuan festival began to appear clearly in written records. Volume 4 of Tang Ludian, in the section on the Department of Sacrifices, recorded the 3 Yuan fasts, and stated that, on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, the earth official is Zhongyuan. In the Song Dynasty, Sefu Yuangui, compiled by Wang Qinruo and others, recorded that Emperor Xuanzong issued an order in the 22nd year of the Kaiyuan era, in 734, requiring people from then on to stop slaughtering animals from the 13th to the 15th day of the 1st, 7th, and 10th lunar months every year. Minghuang Shilu also recorded that on the 3 Yuan days, scholars of Chongyuan should lecture on the Tao Te, the Nanhua classic, and other scriptures, and officials should attend the ceremony. Many Tang poems were written with Zhongyuan Day as their subject, which shows that the term Zhongyuan and its festival customs had already become popular among the people. The Ulaanbaatar festival is the main alternative name for the Zhongyuan festival. The word Ulaanbaatar comes from the Sanskrit word ulambana, which means to rescue someone from hanging upside down. It is a metaphor for the suffering of the dead, as if they were hanging upside down in pain and needed to be saved quickly. According to tradition, China first held an Ulaanbaatar ceremony in 538, promoted by Emperor Wu of Liang Shaoyan. After the Song dynasty, as the focus on making offerings to Buddhist monks became much weaker, the Ulaanbaatar festival gradually merged with the Zhongyuan festival and became commonly known among the people as the Ghost Festival. The origin of the Zhongyuan festival can be traced back to ancient rituals of worshipping gods and spirits. Later, with the influence of Buddhism and Taoism, it became fixed on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month and gradually developed into a festival. As a day of celebration, the 15th day of the 7th lunar month can be traced back as early as the Xia dynasty, or even further, to ancient moon worship. In terms of social activity, it was connected with the moon dance celebration held on the night of the full moon. Liji, or the Book of Rites, records that people worshipped the sun on an altar and the moon in a pit, and that they worshipped the sun in the east and the moon in the west. Shiji, or Records of the Grand Historian, in the chapter on the Xiangnu, records that the Qiangnu worshipped the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening. Even during the Warring States period and the Qin and Han dynasties, both the Waxia people and the Xiangnu people still treated moon worship as an important ritual. In ancient times, men and women of different clans would gather in open spaces on full moon nights to hold singing and dancing celebrations. This was known as the moon dance. The theme of the 15th day of the 7th lunar month was often connected with worshipping ghosts and the god in charge of killing and death. Besides its connection with the ancient custom of the moon dance, the 15th day of the 7th lunar month also gradually became connected with the ritual traditions of welcoming the energy of the 4 seasons, worshipping the gods of the seasons, and making seasonal offerings to ancestors as Confucian ideas developed. For example, Liji, in the chapter Yuling, records that in the 7th lunar month, on the day of the beginning of autumn, the Son of Heaven personally led the 3 dukes, the 9 ministers, the feudal lords, and the senior officials to the western suburbs to welcome autumn. Welcoming autumn meant welcoming the autumn season and its energy, and making offerings to the main god of autumn, the god associated with punishment, killing, and death. That is why Zheng Shan explained that welcoming autumn meant worshipping the White Emperor Xiao Hao and Bai Jiazhu at the ritual site in the western suburbs. The beginning of autumn is a solar term in the 7th lunar month, and its timing is close to the 15th day. Seasonal ancestor offerings were also called regular seasonal sacrifices, seasonal rites, or seasonal offerings. Among the 4 seasonal offerings, only the autumn tasting ritual remained unchanged through the Ye, Shang, and Zhou dynasties. It usually took place around the middle of the 7th lunar month and included ancestor worship, tasting the new harvest, gathering for banquets, and worshipping the god of punishment and death. As this cultural custom developed over time, it once transformed into a festival in the state of Chu during the Warring States period. It was later inherited by southern ethnic groups that had absorbed Chu culture, such as the Aichang People's Burning Packages Festival, the Zhuang People's Ghost Festival from the 13th to the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, and the Bulang people's ancestor worship activities on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. Among ordinary people, it is believed that ancestors return home during the Zhongyuan festival to visit their descendants, so ancestor worship is necessary. This act of worshipping ancestors reflects the traditional ethics of respecting ancestors and serving the dead as if they were still alive. At this time, early autumn crops are also being harvested, so people can share the joy of the harvest with their ancestors. Meng Yuanlao wrote in Dongjing Menhua Lu that on the day before Zhengyuan, people would buy lotus leaves to line the table during the offering ceremony, and they would also buy hemp grain nests and tie them to the table legs. This was meant to tell the ancestors that the autumn harvest had arrived. So, on the day of the Zhongyuan festival, what exactly do people do? 1. Worshipping ancestors. According to Chinese customs, among all the days in a year for honoring the dead, Zhongyuan is one of the most important. It is said that the 15th day of the 7th lunar month is the day when ancestors return home. So every family, rich or poor, prepares paper money, dried fruits, wine, and seasonal offerings to worship their ancestors. If a family has recently lost someone and the grief is still fresh, close relatives and friends usually prepare offerings on the first Zhongyuan festival after that person's death and bring them to the family's home to pay their respects. 2. Burning paper money. I wonder if any of you have ever seen people burning paper at a street corner at night in China. This is actually also a custom. According to folk belief, the paper money burned in the world of the living becomes currency in the underworld, so when people burn paper money, they are sending money to their deceased elders and relatives. Usually, when people burn paper money at a grave, they leave a few sheets and burn them later at a crossroads. The purpose is to give some money to homeless wandering spirits, so that they will not rob the money being sent to one's own ancestors. On Qiyoban, this activity is 3. Praying for a good harvest. The Zhongyuan festival comes close to the autumn harvest season. Besides making offerings to lonely spirits, it also carries the wish for a good harvest. On the night when offerings are made to lonely spirits, families in both the Jiangnan and Zhengbei regions burn incense in front of their homes and pray for a rich rice harvest. They then stick the incense sticks into the ground. This is called butian, meaning planting the fields. The more incense sticks people place in the ground, the better, because it symbolizes a full and abundant autumn harvest. 4. Eating duck. On the day of the ghost festival, people may also kill a duck and eat it to suppress evil spirits. Don't ask why. The answer is that wordplay was already popular a long time ago. In Chinese, the word for duck, ya, sounds like the word ya, meaning to press down or to suppress. So eating duck is meant to suppress the ghosts. 5. Fengyanku. Fengyanku is a kind of folk ritual, and it is probably very rare in modern times. In Buddhism, Yanko refers to hungry ghosts whose mouths give off flames because they long for food. So when monks offer food to hungry ghosts, this ritual is called Fengyanko. On that day, people first set up a ritual master seat and an altar for lonely spirits at the entrance of a street or in front of a village. In front of the ritual master seat, they place an offering to Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, who is believed to save the souls of the dead from hell. Below the seat, people place peaches made of flour and rice. On the altar for lonely spirits, 3 spirit tablets and soul summoning banners are set up. After noon, people place whole pigs, whole sheep, chickens, ducks, geese, and all kinds of steamed cakes and fruits on the altar. The person in charge then sticks triangular paper flags in blue, red, and green into each offering. The flags are written with words such as Grand Alambana Gathering and the Gate of Sweet Dew opens. The ritual begins with solemn temple music. The monks chant Buddhist verses and mantras, and then they offer food by scattering the flour, peaches, and rice in all directions, repeating this 3 times. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, in Old Shanghai, altar ceremonies were held every year on Qingming, Qiuaban, and the first day of the 10th lunar month. These ceremonies included a large and impressive procession of the city god, which people in Old Shanghai commonly called the 3 processions. On the day of Qiuaban, just like on the other 2 days, the city god led Xinjiangxi, Changrenxi, Gaochangxi, and Kaiboxi out from the city god temple. Local officials cleared the way in front of them, and the procession went to the Yili altar outside the west gate to offer relief to lonely spirits. The procession of the city god was very grand. There were living people dressed as ghost officials and different ghost figures, as well as flag and gong teams, lantern teams, stilt walking teams, decorated boat teams, and many others. They traveled through the main streets and alleys of the city. 6. Releasing sky lanterns. On the day of the Ghost Festival, releasing sky lanterns has two meanings. One is to send away bad luck from one's own family. At this time, people are especially careful not to let another family's sky lantern fall on their property. If it does fall there, they have to release it again. The second meaning is to hope that one's deceased ancestors can enter the pure land of ultimate bliss. The sky lanterns are meant to light the path for the ancestors as they rise toward that world. 7. Releasing river lanterns. Many places have the custom of releasing river lanterns during the Zhongyuan festival, and Nanjing placed special importance on this custom. According to Suwenxiang Tongkao, on the 14th day of the first lunar month, in the 5th year of Hongwu, the emperor ordered close officials to light 10,000 water lanterns on the Qinghai River, and the event ended at midnight on the 15th day. River lanterns are also called lotus lanterns or water lanterns. They are usually paper lotus flowers made with paper paste or folded paper. A small candle or oil lamp is placed at the base, and this is called a Siddhagarba candle. Every year during Kyobin, usually at night, people make these lanterns and place them into rivers, lakes, and other bodies of water, letting them drift away. According to legend, they can guide the souls of those who died unjustly. The custom of releasing river lanterns during the Zhongyuan festival is said to have come from the lantern lighting custom of Shangyuan, also known as the Lantern Festival. In folk belief, Shangyuan is the festival of human beings, while Zhongyuan is the festival of ghosts. Human beings belong to Yang, and ghosts belong to Yin. Land belongs to Yang, and water belongs to Yin. So during Shangyuan, lanterns are placed on land, while during Zhongyuan, lanterns are placed on water. River lanterns are also called lotus lanterns. They are usually made of wood, paper, lotus leaves, or other materials into the shape of a lotus flower. A small lamp or candle is placed in the center. Some people also write the name of the deceased person on the lantern before placing it in the water and letting it drift away. The purpose is to light the way for the souls of the dead and help them reach the ideal other shore sooner. On the night of Kyobon, many people release river lanterns, and even more people come to watch them. In the darkness, countless tiny lights shine like fireflies, and the scene is very beautiful. People also believe that if a river lantern sinks in the water, it means that a soul has already been reincarnated. If the lantern drifts far away or reaches the shore, it means that the soul has reached the Pure Land on the other shore. 8. Perform an Ansazhu drama. In some areas of northern China, when the Zhongyuan festival arrives, people set up ulambana ceremonies in temples and monasteries. They build high platforms with reed mats, set up a seat for the ghost king, chant scriptures, perform the Zaju drama, Mulian rescues his mother, hold water and land rituals, and set off fireworks. This is commonly called saving lonely spirits. Meng Yuan Lao of the Southern Song Dynasty recorded in Dongjing Menghua Lu, Zhongyuan Festival, that after the Qixi Festival, entertainers in the markets began performing Mulian rescues his mother, and continued until the 15th day, with the number of spectators growing even larger. 9. Jiaoshi. Another explanation for the Zhongyuan Festival is that it developed from the ancient Jiaoshi rituals. After the summer harvest, farmers took advantage of the farming break to hold rituals for the fields and ancestors. They thanked the gods who managed the land and the ancestors who opened up the fields. This also carried the meaning of celebrating the harvest. In ancient times, the Zhongyuan festival was held only on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. People used vegetarian banquets for worship and were not allowed to stay overnight in another person's home. Later, the vegetarian offerings developed into meat offerings, and the rituals changed from worshipping the fields and ancestors to saving and releasing ownerless lonely ghosts. Probably because there were many diseases and many deaths in the 7th lunar month in ancient times, some places also called the 7th month ghost month. Since offerings had to be made, Kyobin gradually developed into a festival for sending ghosts away. 10. Worshipping ghosts. Both Qingming and Zhongyuan are festivals for worshipping ancestors, but Zhongyuan, as the ghost festival, is different from Qingming. It is not only meant to help deceased ancestors gain release and rebirth sooner, but also to take care of lonely and wandering spirits. So saving the souls of the dead is a key idea of this special day, the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. In the Ulambana ceremony, there is an important ritual called Fang Yankou. Yankou refers to the hungry ghosts in Buddhist belief, and the purpose of this ritual is to save the souls of the dead and offer food to lonely spirits. Fang Yankou is held at dusk or at night. The ritual lasts a long time and may even continue until the early morning of the next day. First, monks chant scriptures and perform rituals. Finally, the person in charge scatters rice, grain, and clean water in all directions to feed the ghosts. In some parts of Zhejiang, people place wine and food on the ground on this day as offerings, which is called offering food to wild ghosts. They also burn paper clothes by the roadside, which is called offering clothes to wild ghosts. Some people also burn paper carts and paper horses. The purpose is to calm the anger of the dead souls, help them find their way back, and make them leave quickly. After talking about the customs people follow during Ban, the ghost festival, let's now talk about what people are not supposed to do on this day. The 7th month of the lunar calendar is commonly called Ghost Month. There is a saying that on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month, the gates of the underworld open. It is believed that during this month, the gates of the underworld stay open and do not close, so spirits can travel through the human world. The 14th day of the 7th lunar month is said to be the day when yin energy is the strongest during Ghost Month. According to legend, if you stay in the wilderness at midnight on this day, you may see the strange sight of hundreds of ghosts walking through the night. These spirits cross over from Naihe Bridge, while the officials of the underworld light large red lanterns to guide them, leading them in a great crowd toward the human world they have been away from for so long. So on this night, it is not considered suitable to go out. When I was little, I often heard older people say that when the gates of the underworld open during Ban, you must not run around everywhere on this day, especially at night. Otherwise, at best, you may get sick. At worst, something more serious could happen. The following taboos are said to have been passed down by our ancestors. It's better to believe there may be something to them than to ignore them completely. Although we cannot take ghost and spirit beliefs as absolute truth, keeping a basic sense of respect and awe towards certain things is still a form of basic respect. Ban mainly refers to the Zhongyuan festival on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. Its core taboos are centered on avoiding bad luck and respecting ancestors. Although customs vary from place to place, the following points are widely passed down. 1. Avoid walking at night. On the night of the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, hundreds of ghosts are said to wander through the night. Older generations would teach children that they must return home after dark, so they would not run into anything unclean. According to legend, every year on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, the Earth Official descends to the human world to carry out the annual pardon of sins by the Earth Official. Laozi Zhangju records, on the day of Zhongyuan, the Earth Official examines and selects people, separating good from evil. Prisoners and hungry ghosts are released at that time. The Earth Official is the deity who oversees good and evil in the underworld. On the day of the Zhongyuan festival, he pardons the sins of all ghosts, allowing them to return to the human world and receive offerings from the living. Therefore, on the night of the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, hundreds of ghosts are believed to walk through the night. It is best to return home before Zishi, which begins at 11 p.m. Staying outside too late may make it easier to encounter evil spirits. People try not to go out at night, especially not near rivers or in remote places. Those who are physically weak should be even more careful. Even hanging clothes outside at night is believed to attract bad luck. 2. Avoid saying the word ghost. Be careful with your words. Do not say the word ghost, and do not call someone by their full name. Avoid talking about supernatural topics, and if someone has a birthday at midnight, it is also better to celebrate during the day instead. The Zhongyuan festival is also called the Ghost Festival. It is said that ghosts pour out from the underworld on this day, and there may be spirits everywhere. So people try not to talk about ghosts or say careless things. People who are easily frightened should be especially careful so they do not end up scaring themselves. 3. Avoid randomly patting someone on the shoulder. According to legend, a person has 3 souls and 7 spirits. The 3 main souls are the heavenly soul, the earthly soul, and the life soul. These 3 soul flames are located above the head and on the 2 shoulders. They represent the life force and vitality of a living person, keeping demons and evil spirits away. If one of the 3 soul flames goes out, The person may become sick or attract something unclean. Randomly patting someone on the shoulder at night can easily put out that person's soul flame. So this is considered one of the biggest taboos during the Zhongyuan festival. In fact, this belief does have a practical explanation. In a dim environment, people are already more likely to feel afraid. And because this is a festival full of ghost stories and legends, people naturally feel even more nervous. At a time like this, if someone suddenly pats you on the shoulder from behind, it can easily scare you. 4. Avoid stepping on paper money. During the Zhongyuan festival, burning paper money is a way of offering gifts to deceased relatives. It is said that on this day, the gates of the underworld open wide, and the dead come to the human world to visit their families. Burning paper money is a way for later generations to show filial respect to their ancestors. When people burn paper money, their deceased relatives are believed to gather together and receive it. If someone accidentally steps on the paper money, it is considered very disrespectful. It may anger the ancestors, making them feel that their descendants have no sense of reverence. And naturally, they may no longer bless the family with health. 5. Avoid wearing red clothes. On the night of the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, people burn incense and paper money at the door of their homes. The purpose is to send new clothes and paper money to deceased relatives. It is also an important day for folk ancestor worship, and all kinds of paper offerings for the dead are sold during this period. Since many of the paper offerings burned for the ancestors are brightly colored, it is better not to wear bright-colored clothes on this day to avoid offending the ancestors. 6. Avoid playing in the water. Water belongs to yin, and it is considered the place in the human world where yin energy is the strongest. The custom of releasing river lanterns during the Zhongyuan festival has two meanings. One is to show care for the souls of those who drowned in the water, and the other is that water is connected with the underworld. People hope the light of the river lanterns can guide the deceased back to the human world. If you play in the water at this time, you may become a substitute for the spirits in the water. In fact, it is not really as frightening as the legend sounds. The practical reason is that the 7th lunar month often falls during the rainy season, when rivers are higher than usual. Playing near the water at this time makes it easy to slip and fall into a river. Rescue can also be very difficult, and it can easily become fatal. 7. Avoid looking in the mirror. People say the 15th day of the 7th lunar month is the official day of the Ghost Festival, and yin energy is very strong on this day, whether during the day or at night. In folk legends, mirrors can show things that the human eye cannot normally see, so people are told not to look in the mirror on the night of the Zhongyuan festival. Actually, whether or not it is the night of the Zhongyuan festival, it is not recommended to look in the mirror after dark when the lighting is dim. In dim light, people are naturally more nervous. After dark, with loose hair and poor lighting, it is easy to scare yourself, especially on a day filled with so many legends like the Zhongyuan festival. Of course, there is another explanation. Ancient mirrors were bronze mirrors, and without a light source, a bronze mirror at night looked blurry and could not reflect clearly at all. 8. Avoid sticking chopsticks into rice. Sticking chopsticks into rice is commonly called dao to fan. It means packing rice tightly, turning it upside down into a bowl, and then sticking 3 chopsticks into it. This is used as an offering for the dead. There is a saying, even if you are poor, do not take dishonest money. Even if you are starving, do not eat dao to fan. Because chopsticks standing in rice look like incense sticks placed in an incense burner, this is not food for the living. It is only offered when mourning the dead. Sticking chopsticks into rice is considered a very unlucky thing to do. 9. Avoid leaving clothes outside overnight. There is also a folk saying that on the day of the Zhongyuan festival, after dark, clothes hanging outside should be brought back inside. Otherwise, people worry that wandering ghosts at night may hide inside the clothes and be brought into the home. Then, whoever wears those clothes may become sick. In fact, on the day of the Zhongyuan festival, many people burn incense and paper money, and some even set off firecrackers to send off their deceased relatives. If clean clothes are not brought inside, they can easily get covered with ash and dust, and then they will have to be washed all over again. Buddhism has a tradition called the summer retreat. When the summer rainy season arrives, plants, trees, and insects are at their most active, so monks stay together in one place and do not go out, focusing on study and practice. After this custom was introduced to China, according to China's climate, the end of the summer retreat happened to fall on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. This custom later merged with another Buddhist legend. Mulian rescues his mother, and this is how the Ulambana festival on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month came to be associated with saving deceased relatives. In the 4th year of the Datong era of the Liang dynasty, in 538, Emperor Wu of Liang held an Ulambana ceremony at Tongtai Temple. From then on, the Ulambana festival became popular in China and later spread to countries such as Japan. In ancient times, and during the spring and autumn and warring states periods, people held spring and autumn sacrifices according to the seasons and natural changes. Over time, this gradually formed the belief and custom of praying in spring and giving thanks in autumn. The 15th day of the 7th lunar month was exactly the time when crops were ripening and the harvest was arriving. Ancient people offered ripe fruits, grains, and other foods before the spirits of gods and ancestors, thanking them for their protection. In ancient times, this kind of ritual was called autumn tasting, or offering the new harvest. With the development of Taoism after the Eastern Han Dynasty, Chinese people also developed the belief in the three great officials. They were the Great Heaven Official, who granted blessings, the Great Earth Official, who pardoned sins, and the Great Water Official, who removed disasters. Among them, the birthday of the Great Earth Official was the Zhongyuan festival on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. This is also where the name Zhongyuan festival comes from. So, with the addition of the Taoist belief in the three officials, the sacrificial activities on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month also gained another meaning, praying for forgiveness and blessings for deceased ancestors so that they could rest peacefully underground. As history developed, the Zhongyuan festival came to have cultural and religious roots in native Confucian and Taoist traditions, while also absorbing Buddhist elements. Through a long-term folk transmission, it eventually became a folk festival that combines the three teachings with mourning, remembrance, sacrifice, and the saving of deceased relatives as its main themes. During the Wei, Jin, Northern, and Southern dynasties period, after Buddhism became popular in the Eastern Jin, and then continued to spread during the Northern and Southern dynasties, the Ulambana ceremony became widely known in the name of repaying the kindness of one's parents. Because of this, the Ulambana ceremony became another name for the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. By the Tang dynasty, the Li royal family of the Tang claimed Laozi, Li as their ancestor, so the Zhongyuan festival gradually received more attention. A trend appeared in which the Ulambana fast and the Zhongyuan festival existed side by side. The status of these two festivals rose and fell depending on different emperors' personal interest in religion. Wu Zetian respected Buddhism and once held a grand court Ulambana fast ceremony at the southern gate of Luoyang. Emperor Xuanzong of Tang believed in Taoism, so palace-sponsored Ulambana fasts once declined. Emperor Daizong favored Buddhism. In the first year of the Dali era, in 766, he ordered an Ulambana vessel to be made in the inner ritual hall on the full moon day of the 7th lunar month. It was decorated with gold and jade, costing a huge amount of money. He also set up sacred seats for the 7 emperors from Emperor Gaozu onward, with banners, dragon umbrellas, robes, and other ceremonial objects. Each emperor's title was written on a banner for identification. These objects were carried out from the inner court and displayed in temples and Taoist monasteries. On that day, ceremonial guards were arranged, and officials waited in order at Guangshen Gate. Banners, flowers, drums, and dances filled the roads, and this became a yearly custom. Before the 4th year of the Huichang era, in 844, these fast ceremonies were extremely popular. The Ulambana offerings made by different temples were very delicate and elaborate, and people also visited temples on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. The scene was very lively. Emperor Wuzong of Tang wanted to suppress Buddhism, so he moved the Buddhist temple offerings to Taoist monasteries for people to view. This caused great dissatisfaction among the people. From this, we can see that although Buddhism and Taoism rose and fell in turn during the mid-Tang period, and the scale of the Ulambana fast and the Zhongyuan festival also changed, the people's strong interest in the fast ceremonies and their attitude toward Emperor Wuzong's suppression of Buddhism show that Buddhist fast ceremonies still held an important place in the daily life of Tang people. Although Taoism and the Zhongyuan festival received support from rulers, they had not yet become the mainstream at that time. In the late Tang and early Song periods, the terms Zhongyuan and Ulambana were both used. After the Southern Song dynasty, Zhongyuan became the standard term. After the middle of the Northern Song Dynasty, Zhengyuan Festival gradually became fixed as the festival name for the 15th day of the 7th lunar month. Not only was the term Zhengyuan Festival used in seasonal records, such as Dongjing Menghua Lu, but it also appeared many times in Song Dynasty poetry. For example, one line says that the Zhengyuan Festival was greatly valued in the palace, and every courtyard burned incense and read Taoist scriptures. Around the time between the Northern Song and Southern Song dynasties, the Taoist Zhengyuan Festival gradually became a festival for the whole society. City residents developed their own related folk customs, and Zhengyuan Festival became a fixed festival name. This also became a new folk activity after the late Northern Song period, and continued to influence the Ming and Qing dynasties. Because of the long-term feudal clan system, the deep belief in many gods, and the traditional custom of serving the dead as if they were still alive, the customs of holding pudu, or universal salvation rituals, and worshipping ancestors during the Zhengyuan festival continued without fading. This was especially true after the 1930s. First, China suffered from warlord conflicts and people struggled to survive. Then the Japanese invasion brought terrible suffering. Natural disasters and human disasters kept happening. People felt spiritually empty and could only place their hopes in unseen gods and ancestors. So, when the Zhengyuan festival came, they made sure to carry out pudu and ancestor worship with great respect and devotion. The reason was simple. Ordinary people hoped that, through the power of spirits, gods, and ancestors, bad luck could be removed and better days could come. This can be said to be the most common psychological foundation behind why people held these festival customs on such a large scale. After 8 long and difficult years of the War of Resistance against Japan, the final victory of the World Anti-Fascist War finally arrived. Overseas remittances from Southeast Asia, which had been interrupted for more than 3 years, resumed. Money from overseas Chinese communities in the South Seas, especially from the Philippines, once again flowed continuously into Quanzhou's Licheng, one of the main hometown regions of overseas Chinese. As a result, the people of Licheng, who had struggled for 3 years like fish trapped in a dry rut, were revived by the sweet rain of overseas remittances. The overseas Chinese hometown of Licheng became full of life again. Ordinary people were grateful for the great achievements of the soldiers who fought against Japan, and they also thanked the many unseen gods and ancestors. They believed these spirits had used divine power to drive away the Japanese invaders, clear away the darkness, save China from the suffering of war, and bring life back to Licheng. When the Japanese emperor, the chief culprit of the Japanese invasion, announced unconditional surrender on August 15, 1945, it happened to be the 8th day of the 7th lunar month in the year of Yao. The whole country celebrated, and in Licheng, people set off firecrackers on a large scale to celebrate victory. In their joy, they held major pudu rituals during the Zhengyuan festival and solemnly worshipped their ancestors. This expressed both their happiness over victory and their gratitude for the hidden protection of gods and ancestors. So, that year in Quanzhou's Licheng, the large-scale Zhengyuan pudu and ancestor worship customs were a reflection of people's joy after hardship had finally passed. They should not simply be viewed as feudal superstition. Since the founding of the People's Republic of China, efforts were made to change old customs and remove superstition. Every year, large-scale campaigns were carried out to ban pudu activities. In the first few years, this seemed to have some effect, but later, the ban could not fully stop the practice. Folk customs passed down for thousands of years, and ways of thinking passed down for thousands of years, still continued among the people. What is worth noting is that this kind of activity of worshipping gods and honoring ghosts has become rare in the north, but remains especially strong in southern Fujian. The reason may be that many people in southern Fujian were migrants from the Central Plains, so they preserved more ancient Central Plains customs. But in the north, there were years of repeated wars throughout history, and different ethnic groups lived together over time, so the ancient customs of the Central Plains were no longer fully preserved. In addition, the natural conditions in the north were harsher. Since ancient times, grain often had to be transported from the south to the north, and daily life itself was not always secure, let alone the maintenance of many complicated customs. Since the Tang and Song dynasties, southern Fujian had been a major port for foreign trade, and an important hometown region of overseas Chinese. Its economy was prosperous, so it could continue to follow the ancient customs brought from the Central Plains without interruption. This is a concrete example of what Guanzi said. Only when the granaries are full do people come to understand rites and music. In this sense, Zhongyuan festival customs and similar traditions can also be seen as a reflection of the commercial and industrial economic foundation of the Guangzhou region in its folk culture. These folk beliefs and activities also contain the beautiful wishes of ordinary people to drive away disease, avoid disasters, and pray for peace, safety, and a happy life. The custom of honoring ghosts and worshipping gods during the Zhongyuan festival on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month has a very long history. It is clearly recorded in sources as early as Ying Shao's Jingchu Sushiji and as late as Meng Yuanlao's Dongjing Menghualu of the Song dynasty. This shows that the custom has existed for a long time. It can even be said to have emerged along with the formation of Han Chinese society and developed under the influence of Taoist culture. The features of this custom are closely connected with the Chinese traditional idea of serving the dead as if they were still alive. So, when the Zhongyuan festival arrives, related worship activities must be held. This reflects traditional Chinese beliefs and continues traditional customs. It is a way for later generations to remember and honor their deceased ancestors and to place their feelings of longing in these rituals. Holding pudu for ownerless, lonely spirits and wandering ghosts also reflects a sense of compassion for the lonely and helpless. By making offerings to these ownerless spirits and scattered ghosts, people hope that after receiving universal offerings and respect, these lonely spirits will not disturb the peaceful life of the human world. In this way, humans and ghosts can live in peace, and everyone can be safe and healthy. In other words, this reflects ordinary people's wish for a peaceful, quiet, and beautiful life. So in modern times, what different customs do different regions of China have? Let's start with Beijing. Every year, during the Zhongyuan festival on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, most of the grain and hemp crops have already been harvested. On this day, farmers bring grain and hemp to temples to worship the gods and thank them for their blessings. At the same time, they also go to their ancestors' graves to make offerings, showing respect and sorrow for their ancestors. Temples also hold Ulambana ceremonies, and among them, Changchun Temple was the most famous. Another important activity is releasing lotus lanterns. People use colored paper to make lotus flowers, then use eggplants, watermelons, or pumpkins as the base. They place a lit candle in the middle, put the lantern on the water, and let it drift away naturally. In places like Jishutan and Paozi River, people released lotus lanterns to guide and save ghosts. In Fujian, because Pudu, the Zhongyuan festival, and the Ulambana festival mainly worship lonely spirits and wandering ghosts, and because they all take place in the 7th lunar month with very similar rituals, people in southern Fujian combined the three and commonly called them Zhongyuan Pudu. In southern Fujian, Pudu is usually divided into public Pudu and private Pudu. Public Pudu is a grand ritual held by village groups around their local temple, with local wealthy families or temple organizers serving as the main hosts. It is also called Temple Pudu. Private Pudu is usually held by families or organizations. Among the different Pudu ceremonies in different places, the Pudu on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, the Zhongyuan festival, is the largest in scale, the widest in reach, and the most solemn in ritual. Taking Temple Pudu as an example, on the eve of the ceremony, temples set up tall poles several zhang high in front of the temple. These poles are written with respectful Zhongyuan words and are used to summon lonely spirits to gather. On the day of Pudu, people put up 7-level or 9-level vertical paper banners for the Great Master Buddha. This is commonly called setting up banners for Pudu. At the same time, an altar is set up in front of the temple, called setting the altar. In the center of the altar, there may be a large mirror written with Ulambana ceremony, or an image of the three great officials. In front of it, there are 2 levels of ritual tables, with deity statues, incense burners, and other worship items placed on them to drive away evil and bring blessings. In addition, in parts of southern Fujian near rivers, lakes, and the sea, Zhongyuan Pudu also includes the custom of releasing river lanterns, also called water Pudu. Its purpose is to guide lonely, hungry ghosts in the water to come ashore and receive Pudu. In Shanxi, Especially in Datong, the timing of Zhongyuan festival worship is different between rural and urban areas. City people believe that ancestor worship should take place after the beginning of autumn. It is said that if people worship ancestors after the beginning of autumn, children born later may become Q-dai, meaning people worry the child may be a little slow or foolish. But in the countryside, people do not follow this belief. They usually follow the rule of 3 days before and 4 days after, which means the worship usually takes place within the 3 days before the 15th day of the 7th lunar month or the 4 days after it. In the city, offerings usually include paper money, fruit, incense, and fresh flowers. In the countryside, people also make dough sculptures. One family steams decorative flower buns, and neighbors come to help. First, based on the number of people in the family, they make one large flower bun for each person. These flower buns come in many different types and styles. They not only look artistic, but also carry beautiful and romantic meanings. The customs of people in Taiwan are also a little different. Among the many Zhongyuan celebrations on the island, the Jilong Zhongyuan Festival in the port city of Keelung, which has been passed down for 169 years, is the most famous. At the Jilong Zhongyuan Festival, you can see display boards set up by different clan associations, introducing the first ancestors of each family name and the history of their migration. On the 3 linked tables, also called the Jinsong Banquet, there are many kinds of offerings. Besides traditional offerings such as meat, poultry, fruit, and vegetables, there are also display table rice sculptures made only for viewing. These rice sculptures are a major feature of the Jilong Zhongyuan Festival. Their origin can be traced back to the Three Kingdoms period, when people used leftover materials from making tangyuan to shape chickens, ducks, fish, and other figures as offerings to worship their ancestors. Besides this, during the Zhongyuan Festival in Taiwan, people can often see deity thanking opera performances and deity processions. Each temple invites out the god it worships and carries the deity through the streets, praying for peace and safety for the people. Of course, on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, some other Asian countries also have different customs and activities. In Thailand, every time the Zhongyuan festival arrives, Chinese communities in Phuket hold related worship activities. Phuket's Zhongyuan festival activities have a history of more than 150 years, and they were first brought there from the Kaohsiung region of China. According to tradition, on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, besides worshipping ancestors and praying for good luck in every household, people also hold an ulambana gathering. Each family prepares especially rich offerings, including meat, fruit, and other items. They also use flour and sugar to make red dough of different sizes and decorate it into the shape of turtles. This expresses remembrance for ancestors and also carries a blessing for the health and long life of the whole family. In some places, monks are invited to chant scriptures to save lonely spirits, expressing the traditional Chinese ideas of kindness and filial piety. Japan's Obon Festival was introduced to Japan during the Tang Dynasty by Japanese envoys to Tang China. In name, it kept the name Ulambana Festival, but in its ritual content, it became more special than in China. On the day of the festival, every family must set up a spirit altar and perform 2 soul fire rituals, the welcoming fire and the sending off fire. By lighting these 2 kinds of soul fire, people worship their ancestors. At the same time, Japan's Obon Festival also includes an essential dance ritual. On some streets, and even in open spaces in remote areas, families gather together, light a bonfire in the center, and perform dances with special Obon features. In some Japanese cities, such as Okinawa, people also carry out rituals such as sending paper money and paper houses to the dead. Singapore's Zhongyuan festival customs are influenced by Buddhism and Taoism. In addition, Singaporean Chinese came from different regions of China, so after more than 100 years of development, the customs have become rich and varied. Representative customs include Zhongyuan ancestor worship, releasing river lanterns, burning incense and paper money, Zhongyuan ritual ceremonies, Zhongyuan dinners, 7th month Getai performances, and bidding for blessed items. The reason Singapore's Zhongyuan Festival is held on such a large scale is that Zhongyuan associations play an important role. A Zhongyuan association is an organization responsible for preparing the Zhongyuan Festival. It is formed voluntarily by temple monks, community residents, shopping center merchants, factory workers, hawker center stall owners, and others. A Zhongyuan association has 2 main leaders, the Luzhu and the Tojia. The Luzhu is in charge of the association's affairs, and every year the person is chosen before the deity through the divination ritual of tossing moon blocks. The Tujia are people who contribute money and effort, helping the Luzhu handle the different matters of the Zhongyuan festival. So, you can see that although the Zhongyuan festival is called the Ghost Festival, it is not really just a festival about ghosts. It is a little mysterious, a little frightening, and yes, it does come with many folk taboos and legends. But in the end, it is more like a day that Chinese people set aside for their loved ones who have passed away. On this day, people burn paper money, worship their ancestors, release river lanterns, and prepare offerings. They do not do these things simply because they are afraid of ghosts and spirits, but because they believe that those who have already left this world may return at some moment to visit their families. Even if it is only a legend, even if it is only a custom, what is truly hidden behind it is longing. Chinese people are often very reserved when expressing emotions. They are not very used to saying love and longing out loud, but instead hide those feelings in their actions. Many times, Chinese people do not directly say, "I miss you," and especially when facing relatives who have already passed away, they are even less likely to express these feelings in such a direct way. So this longing becomes a stick of incense, a piece of paper money, a table of offerings, or a river lantern slowly drifting away. So the Zhongyuan festival may look dark and eerie, and it may sound like a ghost festival, but the truly touching part of it is that it is actually very gentle. It gives the living a chance to miss those who have already left. It also allows people to believe that death is not the complete end of a relationship. As long as someone still remembers, as long as someone is still willing to light a lantern, burn a stick of incense, or place a few offerings on this day, then those who have left seem as if they have not gone too far away. And that is why the Zhongyuan festival has always been so special in Chinese culture. It is not like Halloween, with lively costumes and celebration. Instead, it is a quieter and more subtle kind of remembrance. It is about ghosts, but also about family. It is about death, but also about love. It is about reverence, and also about the attachments between people that are not so easy to let go of.
So, in the future, if you are in China at night and see someone burning paper money at the street corner, or if you see small lanterns floating one by one across the surface of a river, maybe you will understand that it is not just an old superstitious custom. It is more like the living using their own way to say one sentence to those who have left. We still remember you. Alright, that is all for today's story about China's Ghost Festival, the Zhongyuan Festival. Thank you for listening to Chinese history and mythology. See you next time.